Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another video on a question that I received from one of my subscribers, and it goes like this. I'm going to sort of cut out the bit that she asked me about how I am in my industry and stuff like that, because I've already done a video on that. But she was just asking, do you have any tips? Because I've been to quite a few places for interviews. So she mentioned a few companies, Aviva, and a few other companies, and the feedback is all the same. I interview well, but they need candidates with more experience. Okay, so I sort of know who sent me this message actually, because I did hold an insight day and I was able to meet her, so I'm able to like sort of liaise with her via LinkedIn. But the answer that I gave her, or what I went back to her, I thought it's best to come to you to share it, because I do get a lot of people saying, oh, I went to an interview and they said I interviewed well and I didn't get the role. First and foremost, I would always say pat yourself on the back. One, because it means that your CV is very good for you to even get access through the door, to even have an interview. So you've done really well. That's job done. See, your CV is in tip-top condition. Also bear in mind that you're not the only one going for the role. Every time you go for an interview, always have it at the back of your mind that you are definitely attracting this role to you, especially if you really, really want the role. Because people go to interviews for different reasons. Some people just go to interviews just to make sure that they're not out of the loop of what's going on. They don't necessarily want to move, but they just want to see what competition is out there. Some people also go to the interview with the intention of actually getting the job. Attract the job, act like the job is actually yours, and go for it. But also bear in mind that you're not the only one applying for this job. So, you leave the interview, probably 48 other people are behind you applying for that same job. Unfortunately, the world has become really tough that way, and it's extremely difficult to get one job because there are so many people applying for it. But as I said in the beginning, pat yourself at the back and also accept that rejection is a part of the process. Now, for this subscriber who sent me this email, I'm fully aware, as I've been a little bit I've done a little bit of recruitment in my current role actually. I'm able to, I sit in interviews and interview people, and also just, body language and things like that, which I assess and all that. But with her, she is, and if this applies to you as well, she is starting out. What I've noticed is when you're starting out in industry, so if you haven't had any jobs in your life, or you've worked in retail, just coming out of uni and you're entering into a job, one of the most important things, and I want to highlight the most important things a recruiter or an interviewer looks out for, is your personality. Your personality is important, absolutely vital. One, we know you don't have the expertise. Two, we know you're not technically savvy. Three, we know you haven't done the job before. So now what we're looking for is how can you fit within the company and within the organizational culture. That is absolutely key. And this needs to show through not only in your CV, but in the interview. You have to show that you are a people person. You have to show that you're able to make eye contact with people. You have to show that, you are enthusiastic. You really want this role. And these are all things you can show through the way you talk, the way you present yourself, and body language. I've sat in interviews where maybe there's 2 of us on the panel or 3 of us on the panel, and it's a skill which comes with time. You have to make sure that you make eye contact with everybody on that panel. But because A has asked you a question, you don't have to look at A and say, well, I believe this role is going to fit me well, and leave everybody else. You have to treat everybody as if they asked you the question. So you have to be able to let your personality show through. Be able to show that you can basically multitask with your eye. So what do you feel like this role would bring to you? Well, I personally believe that where I work, I've been able to, put all these things into practice. I can certainly transfer these skills. You mentioned a few skills. You make that eye contact with everybody else in the room, because all these people are pretty much interviewing you, and they only read off you from your body language. Some people are very good at selling themselves, but unfortunately they don't know how to sort of present themselves. It comes with time, and that's why when I replied to her, I just said to her, pat yourself on the back for making it through to these interviews and see them as learning curves. You have to pick up on these things. Unfortunately, with the jobs that we apply for these days, sometimes it takes ages to even hear back, and by the time you've even heard back, you're already disheartened about it, and even securing feedback can be really, really difficult. But if you go through a recruiter, always ask, is there anything else that I can do? Am I not interviewing well? You know, see people who are already in industry, ask them. Just say, can I have an interview with you just to see what your body language is like? Because certain things you can't see. You have to be able to portray yourself in a way that when they fit you within the organizational culture of the team, you'll be able to fit in and slide through nicely. You know, bring that exuberating part of you, bring that vibrant part of you. You know, if they ask you a question about what are your hobbies, just say, oh, I love rugby. I was actually at a rugby game 2 weeks ago and it was hilarious. This happened. You know, that sort of your humor, let that show through, because we know you don't have the expertise. When I'm recruiting, if you were maybe 3, 4, 5 years plus in the industry, of course, we want to know your technical knowledge. We want to know your expertise. What can you bring? You know, we are lacking in this area. What can you bring to the team? At that point, even, I think your personality is more, it takes a back seat. I mean, it's still there, but it's taking a back seat because more has to do with your expertise and what you can bring to a team. If, for instance, you're going for a manager role or a higher up role. But when you're starting out, I just want to see how fun you are. I just want to see what you can bring. You know, make it, be honest as well. Just show, oh, I haven't necessarily done this before. However, I am keen to learn it. I have read up on it and it seems really interesting, but it would be fun, or it would be exciting to put this into practice. You see what difference that makes? Be honest. Don't say you've done something when you haven't actually done something. So one thing I would say is pat yourself on the back, accept that rejection is part of it, and bring your personality, especially when you're starting out in the career industry. Your personality is key, and your personality would actually carry you through to the very end. I hope this helps somebody who's looking to get into industry or looking to start their career. I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.